Hello, everybody. This is Noel the Red Devil, and we have some news concerning the Sheikh Jassmin uh, bid. So, last night, as we reported on the channel, some media sources in Qatar apparently have broken the story that Sheikh Jassim had bought Manchester United. Today, Sheikh Jassim's camp has come out and dismissed the reports that he has bought Manchester United. So, as for now, there is no deal done. The New York Stock Exchange, as you know, did briefly react, but it looks like the shares have dropped today back to they were before this whole thing blew up on Twitter last night. Now, apparently, the account that started all of this was traced back to an account in Cardiff, according to what has been found online and has been reported by some of the journalists on Twitter. But again, someone out there is really, and I have to be honest, I have to say this, and a lot of fan channels haven't brought this up, but I am. I think whoever's behind these rumors or whoever's putting them out, I'm being honest, unless it's either the Glazers or one of the other two camps that's trying to buy the club, or there's just someone out there pretending to be representatives of these people. I think it's absolutely sick, to be honest. Tricking fans like that when a lot of flat fans are waiting for the day it's announced that the Glazers are gone. This is making fans even more and more angry as the time goes by, because it's been what, 6 7 months ago since the Glazers announced that they were looking for, what was it, other financial solutions, and reports that they were willing to sell the club. Apparently now the camp is split in the Glazer family. Two, Avram and his brother obviously want to keep the club, and apparently the other two want to get rid of the club. So two like the Qatari deal, and two like the Sir Jim deal. I don't like either of them. I want to make that clear. I was hoping that other people would come in and buy Manchester United, but that has not materialised. Maybe, it's shortly after a pandemic as well. Maybe money is tight for some people out there. But, you know, I want to make sure that this is not the parody. Is this the parody? No, that's a fake account. See, this is the problem. We've got loads of fake accounts. One pretending to be Dave Ornstein. Then you've got one pretending to be Fabrizio Romano. But Cave on Sky News or Sky Sports News has said that no deal has been done. And there's still channels out there saying that the deal is done. Look, Sheikh Jassim's camp is at the coming out and denying that it's happened. And the account out there that I showed you last night, as I told you, that congratulated Sheikh Jassim, apparently came from, they were able to track it to Cardiff. So it wasn't even someone from Qatar. And this is the thing, it's all of this misinformation. Who's putting it out? Is it Sheikh Jassim's camp? Is it the Glazers to try, up the price of the club? Because the shares would obviously, the New York Stock Exchange would react. Who's behind it? And if it is a fan or people that want this deal to be done. Well, I have to say shame on you, because you're messing with fans, but you're messing with the New York Stock Exchange. By making the announcements that you are making, you are actually doing more harm to Sheikh Jassim's bid. You are also, because the shares will go up. You'll be pricing both him and Sir Jim out if you keep this up. Maybe it's some people within the media, because remember, the media have been very critical of this deal to go through, especially with Sheikh Jassim. They have no problem with Newcastle and Manchester City being taken over, but they do have a problem with Man United. As I said, and I've made it very clear as a Man United fan, I'm not happy with both bids. I don't want both. I don't want both of them in the club. I'd rather someone else come in, a third party, someone else to come in. That because there's so many unknowns with both bids. Okay, Sheikh Jassim wants to buy the club straight out and all of that. But I'm gonna say Sheikh Jassim comes with a bit of baggage. He comes from a country, as I said, that has human rights violations and all of that other stuff going on. Now, I'm not saying he's personally responsible, but he is from a country that practices. And we heard during the World Cup that breaking news about how there were bribes going on in the UK in the business world and stuff like that. So, while some fans want Sheikh Jassim, they're willing to sell the club's soul for it. And that's the way I look at it. He's willing to sell the morals of Manchester United for someone who we don't know anything about, really. And so Jim is wrong for the club, because he's just like the Glazers. Bottom line is, he just wants to make money. And I'm not saying Sheikh Jassim doesn't. Sheikh Jassim, at the end of the day, they all want to make money. But I just don't like these two bids and never have. And, but that's who we're stuck with. And I think the Glazers thought they'd get a lot more people bidding on the club, but it hasn't happened. And they're the two now. So what's happened is this process has gone on for 6-7 months. In reality, if there had been a lot more bids come in, I don't think this is a 6-7 month wait, to be quite honest with you. Because if they got the right bid, they would have sold straight away. Now, some fans out there are saying that Sheikh Jassim, because he's from Qatar and he has a lot of money, that he should just pay what the Glazers want for the club, and then this would all be over. But the simple fact of the matter is, right, and I have another take on this as well, right? Just because he has the money doesn't mean he should pay the extra money, right? Manchester United, right, is probably worth between 4 and 4.5 billion as a club, right? That's how much is it realistically worth. They're looking for 6. He's bid 5 point whatever it is, right? They're still getting over 5 billion for the club, and they won't sell because they're stuck on this 6 billion figure. And now I don't know. Maybe there's someone should intervene here, an independent body. I mean, the club is only worth a certain amount, and they're looking for over the odds, which they're entitled to do to a certain extent. But to stick with this 6 billion figure that's being bandied about, Manchester United's not worth 6 billion. Not yet anyway, but it's not worth 6 billion. So for people saying, oh, Sheikh should just pay the 6 billion, well, it's easy for you to say, because you don't have the money. You're not forking out the money. So no, I'm a believer that he should give what the club is worth and pay that amount. And if he has to pay a little bit over the odds, that's fine, right? But 5 point whatever billion is over the odds. But the Glazers are greedy, right? And this is why the Sir Jim deal hasn't been done either, because probably the Sir Jim deal is not good enough for them either. Because if it was, they would have announced Sir Jim straight away. They're still in the club. So both deals, they're not happy with, right? Because they're greedy. They're trying to milk. They've already taken, remember, what was it? 1 billion out of the club? 2 billion? Whatever it is. Manchester City have pumped, 2 billion into the club? So they've pumped 2 billion. We've taken 2 billion out. They've taken 2 billion out of our club. Right? And now, on top of that, right, they've been taking out as you know, been doing the dividends and all of that every year or whatever it is, every couple of years, whenever they did it. And now they're looking for 6 billion on top of that as well. And by the way, Sheikh Jassmin's bid is 5 billion plus an extra billion to do what he needs to do, refurbish Old Trafford or whatever he's thinking of doing, and spend the money on the squad. So they're getting 5. He keeps $1 billion there then to do what he needs to do to get the academy up to scratch, get the stadium up to scratch, and then give Ten Hag the funds to go out and get the players he wants. So, I'm just going to say it's easy for all you Man United fans out there to say he should just pay the 6 billion. Listen, if I was a billionaire, I wouldn't be paying 6 billion for Manchester. I'm a Man United fan through and through. I would not pay 6 billion for Manchester United. They're not worth 6 billion. Right? Now, he could pay the 6 billion and then hope that the future he can make the money back. But is he really willing to take that risk in the financial climate that we're at now? And I think the Glazers are just greedy, right? It's as simple as that. But we've known they've been greedy for a long time. But this is just pure utter greed. The reason why it's gone on this long is because of them, not Sheikh Jassmin or Sir Jim. But in saying that, their deals are obviously, their bids are not good enough for the Glazers, because if they were, they would have announced one of them by now, and we'd be looking at a transfer window where we could actually go out and get who we actually want. Now we're unsure who we're going to get because this still hasn't been resolved. And to the accounts out there, and listen, Man United fans, you really need to stop this, right? Because I've seen it. It's pathetic. As soon as one of these little stories come out, I reported on it, but I did also say in my live stream last night that it wasn't officially confirmed. So I made it clear there. But the way some Man United fans are talking, it was already deal done and people celebrating. Right? You don't celebrate nothing until something is official. And right now, it's not official. Right now, the Glazers have dragged this even longer now. And remember, the transfer window opens next week, doesn't it? Right, or the week after. But we're very close to the transfer window opening up, and we haven't resolved who owns whether the Glazers are staying or whether it's going to be under new ownership. Right? So, I said it on Twitter, I think it was last week or the week before, and I says, I wouldn't be surprised if the Glazers are actually dragging this out for as long as they can to screw us up in the transfer window, because that's the type of people they are. They don't give a crap about Manchester United. They never have. They've only ever been in it for money, right? When they bought Manchester United, we had one of the best stadiums in the world, a stadium that was envied by everybody, right? We were one of the most successful clubs, if not the most successful club at the time. We were winning everything. And then they take over. And in fairness, we did win a couple of titles under them, but then, you seen the type of player then we started to bring in. And it was game over. So they've ran it to the ground. They don't care. Listen, there's this famous photograph going around of the two Glazer brothers standing outside Old Trafford with the stadium falling to bits and burning to flames. Trust me, if they don't get that 6 billion, that's exactly what they'll do. They'll stay. Now, some people say, well, they can't afford to stay. Trust me, there are people out there who would be willing to give those Glazers money, right, to keep it going. Remember, the boy Casemiro, when we were linked to Rabiot and Shaqiri and all of this, and everybody lost their crap, they found, 100 million, 150 million behind the sofa. They didn't find 150 million behind the sofa. They got a loan. So they've got people that would be willing to give them a loan. Because we're in the Champions League now. You know what I mean? And if we could stay in the Champions League, see, that's what will keep them going as well, Champions League revenue. And this is why they've been hit really bad. You know, you had the pandemic and then not getting into Europe. And if we did get into Europe, it was the Europa League, but it's no Champions League. So, you know, the fact that there's still fans out there eagerly awaiting the news of Sheikh Jassmin, like, is it being told out straight that nothing's happening. He has played down the fact that this has happened. So we'll have to wait and see. But that's my opinion on it. I don't know what your opinion is on it, but I have to say, as a Manchester United fan, I'm getting sick and tired of all of this nonsense. It's dragged out way too long. 7 months is way too long. This should have been, as soon as this was announced, all of this process should have been done within 3 to 4 months at least. Once you know who your preferred bidder is, you know, it should be plain sailing. Problem is, though, there's 2 bids and the Glazers can't decide which one is the preferred bid. And it'll continue. And listen, be under no illusion, because some Man United fans think, look, they can't afford to stay around, so they won't stay around. And they are eager to sell the club. Yes, they are eager to sell the club, but be under no illusion, if they don't get what they want, they will stick around. They'll hold out another year hoping, you know, we have a successful run in the Champions League, even get to the knockout stages and stuff like that, and maybe someone else will come in and then offer to buy Manchester United. So, you know, just because there's 2 bidders there, don't be surprised. You know, another bidder could come in. Then that's it. I'll give you the 6 billion. There you go. But I don't think, listen, gonna say it again, I don't think the club is worth 6 billion. I wouldn't personally pay 6 billion. I don't think fans should be asking Sheikh Jassmin to spend 6 billion when we all know that the club is probably worth between 4.5 billion. The Glazers are just greedy. Basically, they want $1 billion for each of the family members, and they'll invest in whatever in the United States, sports in the United States. That's what it's all about for them. Money, money, money. Investment, investment, investment. They don't care about football franchises. They don't care about sport. All they care is how much money can we exploit out of these things. And that's exactly what they've done with Manchester United since they became owners of the club. So for Man United fans out there, if you're waiting on some sort of announcement, you know, because I see a lot of you on Twitter saying, come on, waiting for them to announce. If you think something's going to be announced today, you are all crazy. I don't see it happening, especially after Sheikh Jassmin has played down the whole thing. So you've got to be patient. Unfortunately, I know you've been patient long enough. 7 months is long enough. I've got to be honest. But, you know, this will get done when the Glazers feel they've got the right amount of money. And we'll see if Sheikh Jassmin or Sir Jim give the Glazers what they want. Because, trust me, for everybody out there that's reporting and saying that, oh, well, Sir Jim's the favourite, you know, or Qatar is the favourite, Sheikh Jassmin, I should say, is the favourite. None of them have a clue what they're talking about, because if either one of those was a preferred bid or they liked the bid, we wouldn't be still sitting here wondering who's bought the club, right? So they haven't got a clue. So don't be listening. All these fan accounts as well. It's done deal, all of this. Remember, I even told you last night when I did report on it. I says it's not official. There was a spike. I explained my reasons why I think it could be possible. But I also said, look, it's not official, so we just have to wait and see. So we'll wait and see what happens. And hopefully there's some light at the end of the tunnel for all you fans out there that are in favour of this bid. For me, look, it's controversial to say, but I would rather a completely different bidder come in. If that meant keeping the Glazers there for a few more months or another season, to get someone in that who I think, you know, who comes in with less baggage, let's just say. I think that's the right word to use. But I don't think it's going to happen. I do, in fairness, I'd be very surprised if Sir Jim's bid actually and Ineos, their bid wins. I think they will go with Sheikh Jassmin, but they'll drag this out for as long as they can, just like they do with transfers, folks. Remember that. We do everything slow here at Manchester United under the Glazers. Hopefully, when we're under someone, hopefully, if they know what they're doing, we'll start doing their business a lot better, or do our business the way we used to do our business under Sir Alex. No bull crapping. Just get who we want. Get them all in pre-season. And you couldn't get them in all pre-season, but you knew you could get them near the end of the window. Get them in, but there was no messing around. And that's what we miss. You know, it's too much haggling going on, stuff like that. I don't think we should. We've been paying over the odds for a lot of players, and as I said, you know, me next stream will be on the people that were rumored to be buying, and it'll be a one-off. It's just to give my thoughts on who we'd be linked to, and give you my opinion. But then obviously then when there is actual transfer news, and I mean actual legit transfer news, when a deal has been done, we'll come on and discuss it, as I said. So I'll leave it there, folks. Thank you for joining me again. I'm sorry I don't have better news for you today, but it seems that whole story from last night was a hoax, and whoever's behind it, I have to be honest, ought to be ashamed of themselves. But look, we live in hope that something is done within the next week or two before that transfer window opens. If not, Ten Hag, and you have to understand, Ten Hag will go out there and he will buy who he thinks will fit into the team on the budget that he has. And if Mason Mount and players like that, and Jordan Pickford, who we've been bleeding linked to as well, but if they're the players that he can afford to get, you know, we're just going to have to stick it out until this club is sold. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can really do unless people, you know, well, I mean, I don't even know if there's even any point of protesting now. While the season's over, but I don't know. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. I will talk to you soon. This has been, I am Noel, the Red Devil from Dublin, Ireland, Manchester United fan for over 40 years. Come and join us. We will be doing other content as well. As I said, delving into transfer. And then when pre-season starts as well, we won't be doing live match reactions like a lot of the other channels do out there, because I find them cringe, you know, it jumping like an idiot. But what we'll do is I will be watching every pre-season game, so I'll give you a match report after I've watched the game and let you know what I think. Now, again, with pre-season, we can't really judge, you know, too much on pre-season, because last pre-season, you know, Jadon Sancho was tearing it up, but then we saw what happened during this season. So we can't really judge it, but it does be fun to talk about, see if there's any different tactics that he employs. We get a first indication when he gets the players, hopefully, for pre-season, and we'll get those players adapted to his style of play straight away. And I reckon it'll be slightly different the way we play from last season. I think he'll try to keep the ball a lot more, but I still think, you know, we're 3 or 4 players away from actually doing that. But we'll see what happens anyway. Right, I'll talk to you soon. Have a good one, folks.